Hello, Bosch. You are up next.
Hey Bart, good to talk to you again.
How's it going?
Not bad, doing pretty well here.
All right, so you got a hand for us here, Bosch?
Yeah, so this hand happened this past weekend at Rivers Displays.
Okay, so Rivers Displays. And what's the size of the game?
510, and game is straddle to 25 for like around 2 hours up to this point. But then this one guy joins and he would refuse to straddle. So the rest of the table just like plays like straddle 25, except when that guy is under the gun, he would not straddle.
Wow, what a douche. What
Yeah.
was he like a older guy or what?
Like a middle-aged, like white guy, I think.
I mean, I guess you can't. I mean, listen, you can't force. There's always that one guy, right? I mean, you can't force
Right.
somebody to do it, but yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, so 510 plus 25, but this hand's not 25.
Right. This hand
Mm-hmm.
happens when that guy is under the gun, so it's just 510.
Okay.
Yeah, and effective stack is at 3,870.
All right, 3,870. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so pre-flop action goes hero at under the gun +2,
Hmm.
raise to 35, holding 10 of clubs, 10 of diamonds.
And whereas what your normal raise would have been what to like 75 or
75.
100, it would have been 75. Okay.
Yeah, 75.
Hmm.
So yeah, I went 35, and then falls to a cutoff who 3 bets me to 125.
Okay.
And falls around to me and I call.
Heads up.
Yeah, heads up to the flop.
All right, so the pot's probably like 260 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 10-10. Okay, what's the flop?
Flop comes king of diamonds, 10 of spades, and deuce of spades.
King of diamonds, deuce of spades, 10 of spades, so you flop middle set.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, on this board, I don't think I have any leads here, so I just checked,
Hmm.
and Villain checks back.
All right, so hero flops middle set checks. Obviously, we're not going to really do a whole lot of leading on this board in a 3-bet pot, but cutoff checks behind. So what do you think the cutoff? Because I would say that this board probably does get bet a lot in a 3-bet pot. Again, it could be it could be very close to a bet 100 type of spot here. Like, what do you think the cutoff's checking behind range is here in a 3-bet pot?
Yeah, like queens, jacks, nines, those pairs, or like some give ups like ace jack, ace queen that does not choose to see bet.
Well, I would say ace jack and ace queen are give ups, right? And maybe those hands check back because they're sort of, gut shot hands with nuttish non-pair. I would say give ups are like ace four hearts, if you want to say. I mean, it's semantics, right? Something like that. But yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree with you. I mean, you're going to see some partial slow plays of top set too.
Yeah.
But normally, just thinking ahead, and I'm you, I want to think about what comes on future streets and how do I extract maximum value against a hand that most likely can't beat top pair, is what I would be thinking about.
Right.
All right, so what's the turn?
Turn is six of hearts, so pretty big brick.
So king 10 deuce 6. Okay, pot's 260. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so on this card, I decided to lead out for small for $100.
So before you tell me what he does here, now it's interesting. I would definitely bet, right? I would definitely bet. I wouldn't try to get too cute with it because it might check behind. If you were to check, it would definitely be a check raise. But, for the reasons that we talked about, hand's probably not that strong from that guy. I think that you might, it's close. Like sometimes I like to get a little bit of chunky value now and then put in a smaller bet at the end, just so that the pot size will be larger. Say you wanted to put in a 30 to 40% value bet at the end, say you get a clean run out. When the guy checks behind on the flop and we think he's got like one of those hands, like he's not folding one of those hands that aren't pure give ups for like 200 versus 100 or 225 or something like that. Like when you go 200 to 225 and then he calls, now all of a sudden you've got a pot that's like almost $700, and then a 30 to 40% river value bet is like 200 to 280, as opposed to you bet 100 and he calls. Now it's much smaller. So that's why I would go larger here on this street. I don't expect him. He's not, like I said, maybe he's got some pure give ups that just fold, but they were going to fold anyways. You know what I'm saying? In this setup. So you go 100, okay.
And he raises me to 325.
So this is the cutoff. Cutoff raises to 375. Checked back the
325.
325. Check back the flop. Raise the turn. No backdoor has come in here. So, and it's, it's a 3.25x raise. You've got 10-10. So, what has to be going through your mind here is, does he have king-king? And I'm just kind of thinking off the cuff here, like, what can we 3-bet? Could we ever 3-bet the turn here? Would somebody ever be playing like ace-ace like this, ace-king like this? Of course, my concern is always trying to get the most amount of value here when you, is he ever going to stop? When I say stop raise, like raise turn and sometimes check back rivers, but you guys are super deep. Now, people would say, well, you could never 3-bet the turn here with 10-10. Okay, you can say that, but then you could just never 3-bet the turn with anything here, right? At all. I guess you might have some king-king that's not 4-bet off. Is that really the only hand that you're going to 3-bet turn with? So, I don't know. Did you consider 3-betting turn here?
Yeah, of course I consider 3-betting the turn. Although, like, one main reason that kept me from doing that was I think this player definitely wouldn't bet the river after raising turn. So
he would bet the river?
I think he would bet the river, and that's why I wanted to save the check raise for the river.
So you think that he's not going to check behind on a brick. So if he's like raising turn with like ace-ace or ace-king, he's going to bet the river. I understand what you're saying, but why? If he's that type of player, why does he start the flop with a check back this deep in a 3-bet pot, though?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he would.
It would be kind of bizarre, right? It just wouldn't be. So, yeah, sure, you're super. And then again, that's an interesting dynamic that you talk about, how every hand really is 5, 10, 25. But when you look at this hand, it's 5-10. So you can say, well, you're 400 big blinds deep. Sure, that's true on paper. But every single other hand is playing like at double the stakes. So it's kind of a thing with live. It's the same type of thing when I talk about when people make full pot size bets when the pot's really small. That doesn't really mean anything. But if you're at like a 1-3 game and the pot's $1,500 and somebody bets 1,000, that is much, much stronger than a $75 bet into 100 or whatever, a 2/3 bet into $100. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird thing with live kind of thing. Again, like it's because a lot of times you might see this when a backdoor draw turns, but here, if he had queen jack of spades, I would think they'd bet off a lot. He could have king x of spades. People are saying too, like ace king of spades, something like that. Again, I don't know why that wouldn't start a bet. What did you decide to do on the turn here?
I decided just calling.
So hero calls. So you are gonna go for a check raise on the river. Is that the plan here?
Yeah, that was the plan. As long as river doesn't come a spade, I was going to go for the check raise.
Now, the only thing I would say about that, though, Bosch, as you call, so it looks like the pot is 9-10, is like, sure, a spade, but like, don't you get like a lot of hairy, sticky cards? Like any card above a 9 here might make one pair dicey to bet for this guy. So a 9, a jack, a queen, or an ace. So that's 9, jack, queen, or ace. That's 4 cards. And any spade. So 9 spades plus another, 12 offsuit, one of those ranking cards. Oh, you have a 10. Yeah. One, that's 3 offsuit, ace, queen, jack, 9. That's 12. And then 9 spades is 21. Like half the deck isn't going to be clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I didn't really think about like all the high cards that could like make him not bet or anything like that.
You should be. You should be thinking about that. That's another reason why you want to 3-bet the turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you call. The pot's 9-10. What's the river?
Yeah, river comes the ace of hearts.
Ace of hearts. Well, that's what. So here's one of them, right there. Right here now. Oh God, the ace of hearts is interesting because now. Now you're going to be like, well, I assume you're going to check. And now when he does bet, now we're going to get into a question of, is this ace king or is this aces or is this kings, right? I assume you're going to check, right? Hero checks.
Right, I check.
What's his sizing?
850.
That's 850. 850. So he goes check back flop. He goes raise turn. And now he goes full pot at the end. Now, my problem here, right off the bat, is that I don't know if he's got ace-ace here. Bet like this. I don't know. I don't think that this would really be a good sizing. Now, again, people make mistakes all the time. If he were to play ace-ace like this, I think it would be pretty poor sizing at the end. So I don't know how much ace-ace he has here. Now, he might still have some king-king. And then the other thing that comes in is a queen-10 type of holding. But there's two different, and of course he can have ace-king. But still, I don't know about the sizing here. But there's two different factors. There's the fact that you're beat, that you could be beaten now. But also, too, like if you do check raise now, if you're not beaten, are you called by worse? And of course, the hand that you might say, well, I'm going to get called by worse is ace-king here. But, I mean, the one thing that you have going on for you is like you could almost like min click it here, and you're never going to get jammed back over the top. I mean, you're never going to get jammed back over the top here. You're never going to get jammed back over the top, by anything that's non-queen jack. Can he have 6-6 here ever?
I don't put him on 6-6. I don't also put him on queen jack or anything like that. For like, I think this player image, like he would not be the type to like 3-bet 6-6 or queen jack. Like he has been like open limping in this game, and so like based on that, I don't think he would be the type to 3-bet 6-6 and queen jack.
I think I call down here, Bosch, a lot just because I don't even know this is going to be a huge jam here for 8. If you're really targeting ace king, because that would be the hand that you'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to jam here. I want ace king to call me. And then the reason why, you thought on the turn, some of his range was like ace king and ace ace, even though I don't think the sizing is all that consistent. Who knows? He might show up with ace ace here some of the time. You're not turning your hand into a bluff, right? You're thinking about whether or not you want to check raise for value, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what? Right. So with that being said, ace ace is not going to fold. I mean, so you lose there. And you're not really trying to bluff king king off the hand. I mean, you're trying to get called by ace king. So I don't know how much ace king he has here though, and whether or not that calls. So it's kind of leads me in towards calling here.
I see.
What'd you do?
Well, when I was in the hand, I was just like, wow, what a great spot on the river. Like ace king is definitely gonna call, and he shouldn't have like many king king or ace ace played this way. So at the moment, I check jammed for.
You check jammed. Wow, that's crazy because honestly, like I assume that king king and ace ace are gonna call, but you're almost making your hand look like queen jack. Because if you flip this one around, you're not gonna flip this around on me, Bosch. You've never done a flip call, have you?
Oh no, I have done a flip call.
Oh, this is not a flip call, is it, Bosch?
This is not a flip call.
All right, because people are getting upset with those flip calls. But what I was gonna say is that like if you're in the villain's spot here and you've got like king king or ace ace, you're hating life here. Because what I would say is like he's not doing that with 10-10. He's not insane. So what is he doing it with? And we'd be like, well, king queen? Is he like turning king queen into a bluff? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I know that's not your intention here though. So yeah. So you jam here, and then again, I think I would just. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to get called by ace king. You're not trying to get king king and ace ace to fold, right? We talked through that. So my question to you is, do you think he has enough ace king here that gets here like this and that will call your check jam?
I think so. I think a lot of his ace king can get here like this. Like I can definitely see him checking back ace king on the flop and raising the turn, and obviously river makes top two. Like he would think that could be like effective nuts and goes for like full pot bet. I can definitely see like a lot of his ace king doing this, and for all the reasons you mentioned, I didn't really put him on kings or aces.
So what happened?
So like after I jammed, he really goes in the tank and but like 10 seconds into the tank, he announces he has aces and
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, and he like really was like, "Do you have Queen Jack?" I was like, "Ah, Queen Jack really plays this way." But after a solid minute, he still calls.
Yeah. So ace calls.
Yeah.
Oh man, bet you he was. So when he gave you that speech, I'm sure you started to get a sick feeling in your stomach, right?
Well, I mean, I was just sitting there. I was like, yeah, he's definitely gonna call. But I was still like praying for a fold. But
No, but I mean, I've been in your spot before where I've done something very, very thin for value, and then you realize that you're actually beaten, and now you're just praying the guy somehow folds. You know?
yeah, for sure. But I knew he was still not gonna fold. So at the moment, I was just like, yeah, it's a cooler.
I don't know, Bosch, if it's a cooler necessary. I mean, it's a cooler setup, but I don't know if the river is a cooler though. I don't know if you necessarily. Now, you could bet 3-bet turn and he might, well, I don't know what he would. I mean, so let's say you bet 3-bet turn, right? You go bet, he goes to 325, you go to like 900, he calls. And now all of a sudden the pot's like 2,000, right? And you've got like, 2,700 left. And now the river's an ace. That's a kind of a dicey little spot too, right? King 10 deuce, check, turns a 6. Bosch bets 100. Cutoff goes to 325. Bosch goes to 900. Call, right? Pot's like right around 2,100. River's an ace. And you're like, okay. So will he call down with ace king? Does he have some queen jack? Do I have some queen jack? Does he have aces? Is it interesting? But that would be more of a cooler, I think, with a little bit of a pot size bet left than check raising all in and getting called by ace. But I appreciate the call, Bosch. Thank you very much.